obviously the transfer window has closed fairly recently, and we've got some new signings, and I feel like a lot of players, will get judged early on. There's probably some already who people are calling flops, etc. But I wanted to make this video to show that there's actually been, in the past, many examples of players who struggled at first to fit into their team at their new club, but very quickly became legendary players, most cases, and really good servants for their clubs once given a bit of time. So yeah, hopefully this video will help you maybe change your perspective in terms of not writing players off too much and giving players some time. But yeah, I'm going to go through 10 in no particular order Premier League players, and yeah, maybe at the end of the video I'll talk about which one I think was, I guess, the person who was written off the most and turned it around the best. Let me know if I missed anyone else, and let's begin with number 1, Robert Pires, Arsenal. Robert Pires is the perfect example of a foreign player needing at least a season before coming good. When Robert Pires first joined Arsenal from Metz in 2000, he had the weight of expectation on his shoulders. Signed as a replacement for Marc Overmars, who had joined Barcelona for £25 million, the Frenchman endured a difficult first season for the Gunners. He even said that the league was too physical for him, as he registered just 4 goals and 7 assists in 33 league games. It was the following season where Arsene Wenger's faith in him paid off, though. Pires scored 9 times and assisted another 6 in 28 league appearances, eventually helping Arsenal to a league double. So good were his performances that despite suffering a season-ending cruciate ligament injury in March, he was still named both the Football Writers and Arsenal's Player of the Year. Pires went on to score double-digit figures in the league over the following 3 seasons, including becoming an invincible for Arsenal. Number 2, Luis Suarez, Liverpool. It might seem weird to have Suarez on this list, but it's easy to forget that he didn't have an explosive start at Anfield when signed in the 2011 January transfer window. Although he netted on his league debut against Stoke City and displayed flashes of brilliance, he only netted 15 goals in his first 44 league games for the club, which is not bad, but is by no means amazing. However, it was from the 2012-13 season where he truly started to shine as a world-class player. The Uruguayan scored 23 and assisted 11 more in 33 league games that season, before following it up with 31 goals and 17 assists in a stunning 13-14 campaign. Barcelona didn't hesitate to shell out €80 million to sign him that summer, and Suarez, after a fairly mediocre first season, would go on to become one of the best Liverpool players to ever play in the Premier League. Number 3, David De Gea, Manchester United. David De Gea's overall body of work for Manchester United will earn him a status as one of the greatest Premier League goalkeepers of all time, but it wasn't smooth sailing at first. The Spaniard De Gea arrived at United with a lot of pressure on his young shoulders. Bought for £17.8 million, he was seen as a replacement for the retiring United legend Edwin van der Sar. But De Gea endured a torrid start to life at Old Trafford. He made some crucial mistakes mistakes early on, while many questioned his physique and whether he was ready for the Premier League. There were even calls for De Gea to be dropped in favour of second-choice keeper Andres Lindegaard at one point. One defining moment, as picked out by De Gea himself, changed everything though. After pulling off an incredible save to deny Juan Mata's free kick in a 3-3 draw versus Chelsea, United's goalkeeper slowly started to establish himself in the Premier League. It might have been the defining moment of my United career, he recalled. From there, it got better and better. De Gea kicked on to become one of the world's elite shot stoppers, collecting 7 domestic trophies, 4 appearances in the Premier League team this season, a Golden Glove, and a Europa League crown. Number 4. Didier Drogba, Chelsea. Didier Drogba signed at Chelsea from Marseille in a £24 million deal in 2004, but didn't hit the ground running right away. He only scored twice in his first 8 league games for the club, before an injury kept him out for 6 matches. His final tally of 10 goals in 26 league appearances wasn't bad, but a little underwhelming, and many didn't believe he was capable of leading the line for Chelsea. The Ivorian boosted his league haul to 12 the following season, which again wasn't amazing, but writing him off would have been a mistake. The next season he hit the 20-goal mark and claimed the Premier League Golden Boot. He later scored a career-high 29 Premier League goals in 2009-10, but goals were only ever a partial element of his dominance up front. Drogba allowed his manager to deploy players elsewhere, as he went on to inspire Chelsea to every honour going. The striker went on to win trophy after trophy with Chelsea and had an impressive knack of scoring in 8 different finals, winning each of them, including the famous 2012 Champions League win. Number 5. Thierry Henry, Arsenal. If there's one player to point out when a big signing starts slow, it's Thierry Henry. Signed for a decent fee of £11 million from Juventus in 1999, Henry only scored his first league goal 8 games into the new season. He had to wait another 4 games to net his first brace, as he switched between playing up front and playing out wide. It would take until December for his fortunes to really turn. A flurry of goals rounding out an impressive second half to the season to offer a glimpse of what was to come. The goals flowed with far greater ease, and despite his slow start, the Frenchman still managed to cap his league debut season with 17 goals and 8 assists. What followed was somewhat better, another 157 league goals over 7.5 seasons to become the greatest player in Premier League history. Yeah, not bad. Number 6. Gareth Bale, Tottenham. Emerging as a bright young prospect from the Southampton conveyor belt of talent, Gareth Bale would move to Tottenham in 2007, where he would enjoy a difficult initial spell in North London. Such were his struggles, Bale was labelled a jinx by some, after failing to win any of his first 24 appearances for the club, with the player even linked with a move to Birmingham for a fee of just £3 million, not long after his move to White Hart Lane. The so-called jinx would eventually be broken with a victory over Burnley, but it would be a shift from left back to left wing which would really ignite Bale's career. Moving into the attacking role, Bale's talents would truly become apparent. His blistering pace and delivering, seeing him star as a winger. It would be a breakout performance against Inter Milan that would announce the Welshman to European football, scoring a sensational hat-trick in a 4-3 defeat, before dismantling the Italian side in the return fixture. seasons. In his final season before his world record transfer to Real Madrid, Bale secured an impressive 26 goals from the wing and won both the coveted PFA Young Player of the Year and Players Player of the Year. Number 7. Dennis Bergkamp, Arsenal. Fellow Arsenal and Premier League legend Dennis Bergkamp also had a slow start to life in England, following a big money move from Inter Milan in 1995. After all, the Dutchman required 7 league games to score his first goal for the club in a brace against Southampton. Such was his start that a newspaper even ran with one headline, "Bergie's a waste of money." However, it was in 1997-98 season, Wenger's first full season, where the Iceman really started to display his brilliance. He scored 16 goals and assisted 11 more in 28 league games, as the Gunners went on to secure the double, and his influence saw him win a PFA Players Player of the Year and Football Writers Footballer of the Year double. The former Ajax star went on to become a centurion for the club, winning a further 2 league titles and 3 FA Cups, with his achievements later honoured with a statue outside the club's new Emirates Stadium. Number 8. David Silva, Manchester City. Like David De Gea, David Silva's physique was also questioned when he endured a slow start with Manchester City after signing for $26 million from Valencia in 2010. The Spaniard only started once in City's first 4 league games, prompting many fans to wonder whether he might struggle in the Premier League. Silva even publicly insisted that he would get better as he adapted, asking for patience from Manchester City fans. And oh, how he was right. After 4 goals and 8 assists in his debut league season, Silva inspired City to their first ever Premier League title in 2011-12, contributing 6 goals and 17 assists in 36 games. He would go on to win 4 more league titles and 6 domestic cups to cement his position as one of the best midfielders and just best general players in Premier League history. Number 9. Patrice Evra, Manchester United. Playing for Manchester United was something I was not prepared for. Those were the words of Patrice Evra after he was substituted at half-time on his nightmare debut, a 3-1 loss to rivals Manchester City. The rest of the Frenchman's season did not quite go as planned either, only making 14 appearances and spending time playing for the under-21s at points, due to not being up to scratch, and Evra left many wondering if he was going to be the answer to Manchester United's left-back problem. Luckily, he was. Evra kicked on over the following years and became a mainstay in one of Manchester United's most successful periods. Evra would win 15 trophies with the Red Devils, including a Champions League victory against rivals Chelsea. Okay, and finally, number 10. We have a more recent one. Jorginho, Chelsea. While Jorginho is by no means on the level of some of the other players on this list, he is still a fantastic example of why you should never count out a new signing. Jorginho signed for Chelsea on the same day Maurizio Sarri was hired at the club, which pretty much summed up that Jorginho was specifically Sarri's man and was integral to the way he wanted Chelsea to play, having been very good for him at Napoli. Unfortunately, due to this, Jorginho was guilty by association, as when Sarri's Chelsea started performing poorly, Jorginho was naturally blamed. He played almost every minute of that season under Sarri, and while he wasn't awful, Sarri ball wasn't particularly popular under Chelsea fans, and as Jorginho was seen as Sarri's golden boy, it did not look good. He didn't help his case either when he missed a penalty in the Carabao Cup final shootout in his first season, and things got so bad that he was booed when he was subbed on against Malmo and booed off when he was subbed off against Wolves. Things were not looking good for Jorginho. However, after Sarri left, he stayed, and when Lampard and Thomas Tuchel came in, his performances significantly improved, to the point where in the 2020-21 season, he finished as Chelsea's top scorer and won the Champions League with the club, named as UEFA Player of the Year, finishing third in the Ballon d'Or. Talk about a turnaround. He would go on to become a fan's favourite for Chelsea, and even though he's moved to Arsenal, Chelsea fans still love him, which is pretty crazy to say considering they absolutely despised him in his first season. So there we go. Those were 10 players who turned around their careers after joining new clubs. If I had to pick one player out of all of these who I think, had the biggest turnaround, I think I'm going to go for, it's between Evra and Jorginho for me. I'm going to go Evra. I just think, he was stuck in the under 21s, that's how bad the situation was. And then to go on to become one of the best left backs in Premier League history is some turnaround. But yeah, let me know who else could have been on this list. And if you guys have enjoyed this video,